365 Sports.
All right, here I am again with another Chiefs fan. I'm surrounded by the kingdom, and here's the thing. You ready? All kingdoms are a little corrupt, and all kingdoms must fall. Unfortunately, that wasn't today. Only the Chiefs could overcome 2-0 turnover deficit and 1 for 6 in the red zone, and somehow, puzzlingly, pull this out. What? Excuse me? Your thoughts, Isaiah?
I was saying for my key player, really it was a coach for this game was Spags. I just kept I was talking with Liam all week. I just kept saying Spags, man, I'm telling you, he's gonna do something. And in the beginning, the first half was it was kind of shaky. You guys got 20 points. We only got 9, and so I was like, man, this is not turning out well. But then Spags came out, Spags with his bag, and had I believe the Colts had 0 first downs in the fourth quarter and the overtime, right?
The entire second half.
Entire second half. Okay. And so they just adjusted. And then, Mahomes in the offense in the first half looked like what they've been looking all year, just stale, not great. But I don't know. This second half, I think they finally have some plays deep. They kept running the ball, which was good, but they finally had some plays that were deep instead of just throwing screens or jet sweeps. I was finally, happy about that. I also want Matt Nagy to be fired. He's not a great offensive coordinator. In my opinion. A lot of Chiefs fans are saying that, so I really want him out. But I don't know. They finally hit some deep plays, and I was like, oh my gosh, Mahomes is actually, because he's been kind of failing on the deep plays. He's been overthrowing Worthy or Thornton. Yep. And so he's finally hit some. I mean, they weren't crazy, over the top, but there were some deeper throws. And I was like, finally. And Travis Kelce turned up the second half
a little bit.
And Rashee Rice was.
Yeah.
First half he had not even double-digit yards, but second half he went to 110.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly. And then Kareem, other than that fumble, Kareem did really well. So
yeah. Well, I'm Kevin. This is Isaiah sitting in for Liam. We're the Unstable Blues, happy to present 365 Indiana Sports as part of the 365 Sports Network. Welcome back in. The Colts weathered a second overtime game in a row for them and took the Chiefs to the brink despite being held to no first downs and only 13 yards in the second half and overtime. Let's go all in to see how it all went down. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at 365 Sports. And don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Here we go. Let's go through the narrative. The Colts won the toss, and as they've been doing all season, they selected to take the opening kickoff, and that resulted in a punt after 3 offensive lineman penalties, including a questionable illegal formation as Braden Smith was maybe a paperclip length behind where he should have been. But I think the Chiefs fans know what that's like from the first game last season against the Lions, where they really started cracking down on the whole left, the tackles not being far back. That seemed a little suspicious. But then 2 plays later, Leatu Latu tipped the ball to himself for an interception, and 2 plays after that, Pittman scored the first touchdown of the game. The Chiefs, with an over 8-minute field goal drive.
Unbelievable.
Highlighted by their own penalties, wiping away a touchdown on the face mask there. The Travis Kelce direct snap kind of got wiped off the board. Questionable, I know, from your perspective.
I'm not going to say anything. It wasn't, personally, it was not a great call. But I'm not going to, I know how the Chiefs fans can get a little, I'm not going to go oh my gosh, that was, that ruined, I just keep going down the field. It wasn't a great call. Refs make bad calls all the time. So it is what it is. So it's a field goal.
My biggest criticism of the refs is the inconsistency that seems consistent in the Chiefs' favor, but that was particularly last season. I know they haven't been getting that this season, and that's why a lot of the Chiefs fans and the Chiefs themselves are frustrated. But my biggest criticism is crybaby Kermit back there, who wants just absolutely points everything out, and he hit me in my he got a fingertip on my face mask, and come on, we're playing football.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
But it's still football, so stop crying and let's play the game, because you don't see anyone else in the league cry about it as much as he does at all. I promise you. Look at
Josh Allen's up there, but I'll give it to Mahomes.
Josh Allen cried about it and didn't get it last game. Against Houston. So.
Yeah, I was talking to Liam about this, and it's frustrating. First of all, I don't like how they're part-time. They're not full-time. NFL has plenty of money to make full-time refs. I don't know why they don't do that. Who knows? But yeah, I was talking to Liam, and I was like, man, I'm tired of like and yes, I don't think it's just Mahomes who get it. I think all QBs really get this. Like the one that really makes me upset is the one where the quarterback is still in bounds on the edge of the, right about to go out of bounds, and they hit him, but he's still in bounds, and they're like, flag. I'm like, he's in bounds.
Yeah,
like, that annoys me. Like, it doesn't matter what team I'm rooting for. Like, that annoys me. So in the favorable, and like the one call where he was like on top of Mahomes, and it was like body weight. I was like, that wasn't even that. I don't know. I can see why they called it. Like, they call it all the time, so that was technically consistent. But I think the rule itself is stupid. Is what I think.
Agreed. And I think you touch on a point that we've said a lot is if you make the refs full time, now you have full time employees that you can hold to a universal standard, and just like players and coaches get fined, the refs should be fined as well.
I agree.
Calls. They should be there should be penalties enforced, whether it's game suspensions or demotions or something like that. You can't do that with part-time employees.
Yeah,
if they are full-time employed. Not to mention that you then have the ability to have them go through trainings in the off season and have them go just like the players. They go through training camp, and everybody knows where the rules and where the lines are, because they have these exhaustive kind of meetings about that kind of thing. You can't do that with part-time employees. So back to the game. Drew Ogletree caught a touchdown pass for the Colts after a 48-yard catch and run from Ashton Doolin. If you want a big play, you get it in the hands of a return man and you let them go. And that worked out for them. Tyler Warren and Mo Alley Cox also caught passes, making that kind of a tight end drive. Harrison Butker hit another field goal after another 8-minute drive with the questionable roughing the passer penalty you talked about, Grover Stewart. He let himself up, but he didn't like drive him into the ground, somehow didn't like brace himself. I don't know how he was supposed to do that with a man underneath him, but
that's a stupid call.
The Colts had an ultimately 3-and-out under 2 minutes in the half, leading to more penalties and another Butker field goal, and the halftime score of 20-9. In there were some of the other penalties that prevented the Colts from getting a field goal there. Is that correct? Or they had to opt for the field goal because there was a non-call PI against Howard Pierce, and then a offensive pass interference called on Michael Pittman Jr. when he was clearly grabbed by the shoulder pads.
Yeah. That was very iffy call right there.
Yep. The Chiefs started the second half with a 3-and-out, preventing any kind of a double whammy there. Michael Badgley hit that. This is the only time that they did score in the second half. Hit the field goal after those penalties. Another punt for the Chiefs led to another Colts field goal behind Jonathan Taylor's 27-yard breakaway and Warren's 16-yard tight end screen. That was a beautiful play. He chip blocked, Warren did, let him go, and then all of a sudden he's got 3 offensive linemen out in front of him leading the way. So,
yeah, that was good.
um,
Good.
the Colts were held out of the end zone for the first time on a goal-to-go situation on those penalties. And then they were never really able to rebound. Speaking of which, open goal rebounder and goal setup is perfect for your backyard. Click the link in the description for more. And then here we go. That was enough to change the momentum. The Chiefs had a good drive going behind a huge Rashee Rice catch before Zaire Franklin stripped Kareem Hunt of the ball.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that led to the Colts 3 and out. And the Chiefs scored a touchdown and the 2-point conversion on the ensuing drive, bringing the score to 20-17. 8:37 left in the game. 3 and out for the Colts. 3 and out for the Chiefs. 3 and out for the Colts. The Chiefs started moving the ball, including a 4th down conversion at midfield for y'all. But the Colts came up strong in the red zone again. See, I was thinking, let them score. Let y'all score. But then they came up with the 2-yard loss on Kareem. And then from there, it was like, okay, we got to get a stop. Came up with a stop, led to Butker and the field goal to tie the game, sending it to overtime, tied at 20. Another 3 and out after the Colts won the toss and elected to receive again to start off overtime. And the Colts had the Chiefs all bottled up. And then Xavier Worthy, 31-yard catch. Rashee Rice, 21-yarder a little bit after, set up Butker in the game-winning field goal to put the game to bed. Speaking of which, Joi Baby sleep sacks and matching crib sets can help you put your little one to bed. Click the link in the description for more on that. It's time to look at the stats. All right, we'll look at your Chief stats here. All right, let me pull it up because we've gotten away from doing both teams in this simply for time reasons, but it's all right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You're here, so we'll get into it. Bounce it back and forth here. Daniel Jones in the first half, okay, just for a comparison, 10 of 12, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns, a 138.9 rating. He ended 19 of 31, 181, 2 touchdowns, and a 99 rating. Anytime Daniel Jones is under 100 rating, the Colts lose this season. All 3 games. That's it. He's above. It's kind of like the Pacers last year. If Hallie scored 20 and 10, they won, and the Pacers hit 120, I think, was the formula. If they did in the playoffs, they won. If they didn't, that was it, you know? Some of the things, just like we say, there's a lot more to stats than there's a lot more games than just stats, but there are some stats where you can track, you go, this is one that makes sense, you know? So that 100 rating, let's see, how did Patty do? 29 of 46 for 352 and 1 interception. 77.4 rating. So, I mean, you would think, other than just the total yardage, man, that was not a great day.
Yeah.
It kind of wasn't for him.
No, I agree. It wasn't the best.
Yeah.
I think also he may have not have like great rushing yard stats, but he like runs when he needs to. Like when he ran, it wasn't like crazy plays, but it was like just enough for that 3rd down or whatever. So that was.
I think Jones had a couple of he had one conversion like that, but Patrick I think had 2 or 3 of those that he converted. Yeah. Speaking of the run game, Kareem had 104 on 30 carries and a touchdown, and Jonathan Taylor was held to only 58 on 16 carries, no touchdowns. So they came out ready for the number 1 weapon, you know? That's a credit to your man Spags.
Yeah.
Top receiver, I didn't even jot down anything for the receivers for the Colts. 45 on 5 for Warren. That's pretty much it, other than the touchdowns that I mentioned and the Doolin catch. Rashee Rice went 141 on 8 catches, and Xavier Worthy 59 on 4 catches. Travis Kelce, 4 catches for 43. No touchdowns receiving, as we mentioned. So for the Chiefs there. So after the stats, let me give you the defensive stats here. Let's see. For the Colts, Jermaine Pratt had 20 tackles and 2 for a loss. Franklin with 14 tackles and 1 for a loss. The Colts had a total of 4 sacks, 1 by Latu, Kwity Paye, Grover Stewart, Austin Ajaki, and Adatamiwa Adabare each had a half of one. And of course, Latu had that interception, and Franklin forced the fumble that was recovered by Trevarius Ward. Brian Cook was kind of all over the place for the Chiefs, 8 tackles. Bolton had 8 as well. But 0 sacks for but that is not for the Chiefs, but that doesn't represent the pressure that was there. It just meant that Daniel Jones was careful and got the ball out where it needed to go away from. Also wanted to point out Anthony Gould has 75 total return yards for the Colts. So that's pretty decent. They had a couple that he almost broke open pretty wide there. Yeah. All these stats come into proper training. Farmhounds can help you with healthy treats for your training of puppies like Country Mountain Dogs. Click the link in the description for more on that. So that leads us to the intangibles. What are some of the things as you just watch the game that were difference in the game from your perspective for the Chiefs?
Yeah. Like I said in the beginning, the defense, man, they did something different, man. They were always containing JT the entire time. I think they got a lot more pressure, is what I just saw, like eye test, like a lot more pressure on Daniel Jones. The reason we couldn't get a sack is because Daniel Jones would release it really fast.
Yep.
But I would say a lot of pressure. Our secondary played a lot better in the second half than it did in the first half. First half, we were just letting everything open, but this half, or second half, they played a lot better. Special teams, and I've been seeing this throughout like all year. Our special teams is just penalty like a magnet. We just get penalty after penalty after penalty. Finally, in the second half, we got maybe like 2 or 3. I don't really know. Like very little penalties on special teams.
Yeah.
But again, that's like a big thing when it comes to football. Like our special teams, we cannot keep getting these penalties. So I'm not surprised that your guy had a lot of yards returned. But yeah, we special teams played a lot better. Offense decided to take a book from their 2018 Chiefs. Okay, maybe not that, but a lot better. And yeah, defense, just pressure was too much for Daniel Jones.
From the Colts perspective, the run defense, they just couldn't quite get on top of Kareem the way that he needed to. And then their inability to move the ball past the middle of the third quarter after they were held there to what should have been a touchdown that I'll get to in a second. And then obviously, like, this is a stat, but a lot of people don't think of it as a stat. The time of possession. The Chiefs had the ball. Once again, I'll refer you back to the 20 tackles by the top tackler for the Colts. That doesn't happen unless your defense is on the field a lot. And 42 minutes of possession time for the Chiefs. Granted, overtime game, but still, that's too much. Like I said, there were 2 8-minute drives to start off with. Even though they resulted in field goals, that's going to wear your defense down over time, over the course of the game, and they're just going to run out of gas. And I really felt that as it got to the latter part of the fourth quarter, that there wasn't some of that nuanced stuff that you see from Lou Anarumo a lot of times. They ran out of some of that mental gas and as well as physical gas as far as some of that stuff. So time of possession is going to play huge. So even though they won a ton of other stats, that one, it was a big intangible for me. So that leads to us to the Mayflower move of the game. What was the game-changing play of the game, do you think?
Wow. For me, I don't know if there was like game, like or the like play for me. I think
Okay.
I saw more of like first of all, this was a must-win game. You know, we're coming in, it's 20-9, and it's a must-win game. This is like playoff hopes, and yeah, I think it was just the team as a whole really coming together and like, all right, we got to get our act together. Like, I didn't really see like a play that was like, okay, this is where it changed. And there are games like that, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I really saw that for the Chiefs. I think they really just went into halftime. They came out with that 3-and-out. So I was like, oh, this is not good. That's not a good start. But after that, they started, clicking and just playing Chiefs ball.
Yeah. Mine was gonna be. I mean, I jumped up out of my seat and was all crazy about the Franklin strip, and that second turnover. But when the Colts weren't able to do anything with it, that really hurt them, especially when the Chiefs went down and scored on the that next possession. I'm going to say, and I hate to do this, but to me, the two pass interference calls, that the one with Alec. Now, I will say this: the Alec Pierce in the end zone, the defender had his arm on the back hip, and it looked amazingly similar to a pass interference call that actually won the Chiefs a Super Bowl a few years ago against the Eagles. That was called and somehow wasn't called. That would have been ball at the 1, first down. That's going to be an automatic touchdown. That's 4 points. And then the very next play, another called offensive pass interference that was questionable. So to me, that really, I hate to do the call thing, but I'll give you the play for you. Okay. So I'll make up for my calling the penalty by saying that, to me, the play for the Chiefs was the Rashee Rice or the Xavier Worthy catch in overtime, because it was third down. It's 3rd and 7. And like, really, they're pretty bottled up. They're going to have to punt it back and give the Colts at least another shot to go down, or potential tie, which, is better than a loss at some point. So to me, that Xavier Worthy catch is amazing catch. And, Ward, for some reason, just wasn't in the right position. And Patrick found him, and there you go. So to me, that's the place. So then that leads us to our player of the game, presented by Underdog Fantasy Sports. If you think you know the player of the game, what they're going to do, you can get on Underdog Fantasy Sports and combine that with a few other players and other games. And if you win one, you win a little bit. If you win a lot, you hit a lot. So take a look at this from them, and we'll give you our picks for the player of the game. Football's back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code COLTS. To score $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries when you play your first $5, that's promo code COLTS. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks. Win money. Must be 18 and up, 19 and up in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 and up, and in Colorado for some games, 21 and up in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and must be present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467 369. All right. So who from the Chiefs is your star of the game then?
Man, that's kind of hard. I can only pick one, right?
You could give an honorable mention. We do that sometimes.
Okay. I think okay. Can I pick a coach? Because I want to go.
I do that sometimes. Sure.
I want to go Spags as like the player or coach of the game.
All right.
He just, like I said before, I think he was gonna pull out what he what was I gonna say? The Colts offense, right? They've been the best since, or the most efficient since 07 Patriots. Correct?
Okay. Something like that.
And the Spags was the defensive coordinator against the 07 for the Giants against the 07 Patriots. So maybe he had some similarity going against great offenses like that. So that's why I chose him. But then honorable mention, I gotta go. I want to go. There's Chris Jones with the pressure, but I think I'm gonna go Kareem Hunt with his 100 plus yard rushing and touchdown. Even though he got the fumble, I love how the Chiefs, when they make a mistake like that, they always go back to that person. Like, we trust you. Like, that mistake doesn't determine who you are. So I would say Spags and then Kareem.
All right, awesome. So many different options here for the Colts, but obviously in a loss, it's a little bit tougher. I'm gonna say, just because, even this was even brought up by Romo in the broadcast, Jermaine Pratt, absolutely everywhere.
I agree.
He had some potential game-changing stops there. Came up with a big stop on some third down stuff against Kareem. He was in coverage when he needed to be. Even coming back on a Rashid Rice catch down the sideline that could have been a really dangerous one, but came back down the field as a linebacker to usher him out of bounds. Like, he was just kind of everywhere he needed to be to get the job done. Well, that is all that we have for today. Thank you, Isaiah, for joining me.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you on. We'll be back later this week with our Crimson Cutback look at IU football, and then later we'll have our Unstable Pick 6 NFL prediction episode. Keep the pace as we look at our weekly look at Indiana Pacers basketball. Candy Stripe Clear Up, check in with IU basketball and our preview of the Colts hosting the team from Houston for the first time this season with that matchup. Well, I'm Kevin. He's Isaiah, sitting in for Liam, reminding you to keep it 365, Indiana.
365 Sports.